Karim Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner, is out of the World Cup. Devastating for him, devastating for France, and devastating for the fans. But in fact, the whole French team is suffering from horrendous amounts of injuries. I'm going to explain the top 5 most important injuries to the French team in order of importance, of course, including Karim Benzema. If you disagree with my order, leave it in the comments. I'll take it on the chin. Let's go. So at number 5, I have Christopher Nkunku, RB Leipzig striker. He's been banging in goals this season, 12 goals in 15 appearances. Heard he was moving to Chelsea in January. That might be on hold. He's injured his knee in training with the France squad. He's out of the World Cup, and the club have confirmed he suffered an injury to his lateral collateral ligament of the knee. That is an important structure in stabilising the knee, and by the looks of it, he's not going to have surgery. By the looks of it, that may change. If not, that might be an 8 to 12 week injury depending on grade and severity, which may scupper his January transfer plans, but we'll see. He's definitely out of the World Cup. At number 4, I've got Presnel Kimpembe, centre-back, top player, World Cup winner already, and I think he could be a big miss for France, particularly adding depth in that squad. He's been out for about 6 weeks with a pretty severe hamstring injury. He's come back and now his Achilles has flared up. So for the good of the team, he's pulled out. In another world, he might have actually been able to come and the medical team manage it as you go over the next 5 weeks, but he's clearly thought they want players that are fit and firing, and he doesn't actually want to be a burden to the team, so he's pulled out mutually with France squad. Fair play to him. So hammy coming back from the hammy and Achilles flare. Kimpembe out. At number 3, I've got Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, absolute baller for France. Unfortunately, he has injured his right lateral meniscus. Now, I did a video on this last month when it happened, and we said he has an option of trying to rehab it conservatively or going for surgery. What he did, though, was he tried to rehab it, then went for surgery. So that elongated his time out, and he's ended up missing the World Cup. Not sure about that decision, but have a look at the video. Let me know what you think. He's got a right lateral meniscal tear, and he's had an operation for it. He is out of the World Cup. At number 2, I have Karim Benzema, the man everybody wants to know about. Okay, let's break down the information we have now, then I can explain what I'm pretty sure has happened, okay? France striker Karim Benzema has been ruled out of the World Cup after suffering an injury to his left thigh during training on Saturday. That's pretty non-specific, but look closely. The 2022 Ballon d'Or winner felt a strong pain in his thigh during a sprint towards the end of training. After undergoing an MRI, it was confirmed that Benzema had suffered a muscle tear that would need 3 weeks of recovery time. Now, interpreting all of that, what I know is he's got a muscle tear, he suffered that in his thigh, and he did it while sprinting. That leads me to believe he's suffered a hamstring tear, okay? That is the most common muscle injury in football, and it occurs most commonly during a sprint in motion, okay? So that is pretty likely what has happened. In addition, they say it requires 3 weeks healing time, which I find interesting. Firstly, it sounds like that's probably a bad, sort of on the bad end of a grade 1 tear, maybe an early grade 2, 3 weeks. The World Cup final is about 4.5 weeks away at the time of filming this video. In a different world, they might have decided to keep him and see if they can kind of manage him out there, see what they can do and get from him out there to see if they can get him back for the semi-final or final, if indeed they make it. But it's a difficult decision to make because it's a bit distracting having a player there that you're just rehabbing the whole time and hoping to come back. And obviously, by the time you get to those deeper stages, you've got players that have earned the right to play there, and you don't know what you're going to get from this individual. So it all gets very, very tricky. So it sounds like it was a mutual decision between Benzema, the team, and it's just a more practical decision to have him away from the squad, which is a big shame. So hamstring strain very likely for Benzema, and that's keeping him out. The most important injury for France's squad for the World Cup, in my opinion, is the injury to N'Golo Kante. Now, he's been ruled out since October with an hamstring tear that required surgery and leaves him out for 4 months. So for me, that indicates he's had a grade 4 hamstring tear, very likely involving a tendon, which has had to be repaired surgically. I've seen this many times before. Many footballers have had this, and that is a 3 to 4 month rehab. He's definitely out of the World Cup, and we all know that already. Kante is the engine room. You've seen how he revolutionized Chelsea. You see the important impact he had in the World Cup last time, and I personally think that is the biggest loss for the France team. Benzema is a big loss, but I think they've got a lot of firepower up front, and Pogba, I don't think Pogba is at the level of Kante for me in terms of the importance for the overall team and the balance of that team. So it will be really interesting to see how it goes. If you want more information about some injuries regarding the World Cup, check out my video on Sadio Mane, just released that. Otherwise, see you on the next one. Peace.